Oh, hello. Oh.
What are we doing? What is going on?
That was you, baby, because all I did was say, oh, hello. Girl, what are you doing?
I'm trying to get my... Listen, don't you ignore all that shit in the background. I don't feel like that
the girls try to get new technology that they ain't tested out before the joint.
Listen, we going to the laundromat, so we got 2 bags of clothes, so that's what the fuck we doing.
No, I'm not talking about the laundromat. I'm talking about you and this technology, honey.
No. I actually was trying to log back in, and then when I logged back in...
see your face.
What the hell? Hold on. I was trying to log back in, and then when I logged back in, there we go. There we go. Okay, hold on.
All right.
What's going on? Okay, there we go. All right. There we go. Okay, all right.
Okay, girl.
Listen,
you done got rusty. You done got rusty after a month.
No. So there's this stuff on StreamYard talking about do your connection again, and so that was the mistake. I hit that trying to think that it was going to not cause an issue, but here we go.
That's later. We got 6 days to take care of that. That's all.
I'm not. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And then, but Miss Twitter. Miss Twitter used to allow us to do, but apparently in the month that we've been off, now you can only stream on Twitter with a premium account. And I'm not giving Elon, I am not paying a nickel for Twitter. I just want to be clear, a nickel.
Listen.
So at least here's the thing. Maybe if somebody else owned it, but I'm not doing anything to put money in that man's pockets. I'm actually, I've sort of gotten past my hatred of Teslas because I actually drove one and I was like, girl, the way that bitch jumped.
So the takeoff is amazing.
When I put my foot on the pedal, she said,
yeah, the takeoff on that is absolutely amazing because I didn't realize they had that much get up. They are amazing.
Yeah, but if I do end up buying a Tesla, which I almost certainly won't because they still sit too low to the ground for me. Even the one that they call a SUV still sits too low to the ground for me. So I just don't like the position of it. But if I would definitely buy a used one. So I wouldn't be wanting to give him money directly other than for the charging stuff. But anyway, anybody here to talk about, fucking that guy. So, hey, y'all, how y'all doing?
Hey, what's going on?
So glad to be back. First of all, we got to acknowledge that Eccentric jumped in, and then Dylan was right on Eccentric's heels. So thank y'all for joining us. We are so excited to have y'all back in the fold tonight.
Y'all back. Yay. Yeah. Yay. Hey.
Oh, hey. How y'all doing?
Hey. Oh. Hey.
It's been a month. It has been a month.
Babe, listen. Let's be clear. Yes, it has been a month, but baby, when I tell you it has been a week already.
Baby, today has been a week.
Oh my God, my God, my God, my God. It has definitely been all of that. But listen, I hope that everyone was able to enjoy themselves and get outside in this good summertime air, because we already know that the winters is going to be absolutely wintering. And
Very.
so we are going to hear all the nonsense about, oh, I can't even, get outside and so forth. So no, baby, you can get outside. You can do whatever you want to do. Now, you may not like the temperature out there, and it may be getting dark by 5 o'clock. Baby, you can do whatever you need to do. But I hope you went outside and got your dose of vitamin D. Because, baby, listen, the way I have sweat walking from one side of campus to the other all week and going to continue to do that all month, like, baby, this is a lot. This is a lot.
This God, I'm inside 90% of the time. But when I do go outside, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We are in Satan's ball sack, baby. It is hot.
Baby, listen. This is where we are. This is exactly where we are and what we got going on. So, but
what are you supposed to do? It's fucking summertime. So,
Bougie, listen. First of all, Bougie. First of all, I am so happy to see you. I am so happy to see you, Bougie. What's going on? We lost contact with you like last month. What's going on? I mean, you ain't popped up. You just, you came in for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. Now you saying you was here before the countdown started? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. But I'm happy to see you though.
Yes, we are super excited to see you. So
absolutely.
I feel like there's a lot that we need to talk about. So why don't you go first?
Wow.
So what has happened since the last show?
I always gotta go first.
I mean, I can go first, but I'm trying to be nice and give you the privilege of going first. So tell us everything that has happened since June 26th, and don't leave out even a single detail.
Well, we're gonna need 3 shows for that. Okay. But okay, so since June 26th, what has happened? Our rich white woman trip to Europe was compromised and changed around and basically canceled. And so what we did was we decided to go ahead and make do with what we had going on and keep on doing what we do, because life is life. So for me, one of the things that I decided to do was I was trying to. Okay, so I'm sorry. This is around the time we knew that Beryl was trying to hit and storms and everything was coming. We knew that was coming in, but we were also getting news flashes and updates about people being in Barcelona and the tourists being really, really, well, not the tourists, but the natives being really, really, not natives, the locals.
The girls, they were protesting.
Yeah, being really rude towards all the tourists. They were protesting. And so part of the protesting was about tourism and about the tourists coming in. I never heard that they said that the tourists were being disrespectful or nasty or anything else, but it was something about it's either not stimulating the economy or taking money out of the country or something to that effect. I've never heard.
Actually, it wasn't either. It's that Barcelona apparently is not, I mean, it's always been like a slight tourist destination, but since they built that cruise port, tourism has has exploded, and it's making shit expensive. Because like if any of us, went on our European sojourn, right, and we went to the little market, and they were like, okay, well, this croissant is 10 euros. We'd be like,
fine,
okay, great. But the locals, that is driving up local prices, because now, since people will pay that's what stuff is going up. And so that same croissant that they might have been able to get for $3 2 years ago is now $10 because the market will support that. You can see that.
Wait a minute. Lauren, baby, first of all, let's say thank you for that, because you said you out here watching on damn phones.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, baby. We love you.
On the bus without headphones on top of that.
Baby, we love you. Listen, tell them to like and subscribe. Everybody on there, if y'all can hear my voice, like and subscribe to BGKH show on YouTube. That's what y'all can do. Like and subscribe. BGKH show with Dominion and Epic. Yes. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But no. So I was just going to say quickly that we can see the same thing happening in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Because I remember when I was there for Christmas and I cooked dinner, and I remarked on how expensive things were. Now, yeah, you expect shit to be expensive, like right by the beach or, you know, whatever. But I was just out grocery shopping at an Aldi's and the shit was so expensive, but it's because they have a class of people who come there and spend money, so they're driving the prices up. So anyway, so yeah, so there were, we missed all of the protests there and in Paris because the girls was cutting up before the Olympics started too.
Listen, but the problem is, had we been in Barcelona and somebody came, because the thing was they were protesting, but they were also doing things like shooting water guns and wetting up tourists and stuff and throwing things at them. The problem is the way my mouth is set up, and with the group that we were with,
you would have started a fucking international incident.
Baby, that was not. And so I was trying to listen to the whispers of like something's telling you probably shouldn't be here right now. And so not only that was that going on, when it was decided we weren't going, I said, well, let me go ahead and see if I can spend my money and go someplace else. I'm trying to do a Caribbean destination. Baby, Beryl hit just about everything in the Caribbean, and I couldn't get to any of that. So it was like, okay, all right, great. Then I tried to talk to some friends that were flight attendants, and they were like, oh, all our stuff has been down. And of course, American went down. Delta was having issues. The only ones that seemed to be getting out was like Southwest and Spirit. And they were laughing at everybody because of all the airlines, especially Spirit at this particular point, they were the ones that their flights were on time. But I mean, hell, listen, when you flying in a go-kart, I mean, it ain't like,
exactly.
I mean, how much more damage can you do other than wind burn because you flying in?
Right, you already in a dented Hyundai Elantra, so you all right.
Exactly, bougie girl. So that's why it was okay. So then when I couldn't get that situation, I was like, something's telling me to sit my ass at home. And so I couldn't do that. So I decided, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make the best of this. We're going to do everything that we need to do. And we are just going to have a motherfucking ball. I remember I've talked about Grace. Matter of fact, where Grace, where you at, girl? You not here? What's going on? Because you done talked all this type of shaggity all this time about when we supposed to be starting back up, and you ain't even here. So when you go back and look at this, Grace, your ass should have been here. But in any event, thank you so much to for the lovely Grace who made it possible for your boy to go see Miss Janet Jackson, because it was a last minute. I wasn't even going to be here. So when she had talked about getting tickets, I was like, well, girl, I'm going to be gone. But circumstances changed and it was pivoted. So it was one of the things was like, baby, this is where we're going to see Janet Jackson. So of course, I hit the menu number like, listen, we got tickets. We was touching the hem of God. When we went to go see Beyonce, we were touching his eyeball at this particular point. And it was okay. It was quite okay. Let me be clear, because I was in the building and I was fine with it. And everything I do when I go to a Janet Jackson concert, I come back home with a new program and I enjoyed it. And so I'm here for it. It was a different show. The house music intro was everything. And thank you, Eccentric, for sending that link, because I was able to hear all the music and the mix that you sent to me, which is no longer up, but it was still banging when I got to see it in person. We did the hoodie for the designer's edition, and Tom Brown definitely designed all the outfits for him.
The outfits were gorgeous,
and she may have had a couple of in there. Some of them were Diana Ross inspired, or Lola Falana, or like some showgirl type of situation. But baby, Miss Janet pulled it all the way together in only a way that she can. And for me, and I don't know if you remember this, Dominion, one of the best looks that she had for me, which was so Janet Jackson. And when you think about all the stuff she does, she's always going to have a cinched waist, and she's always going to have some big shoulders. And she had this black obi with this black jumpsuit and the boots on and the big shoulders. And it was quintessential Janet Jackson. And she even did, I think she wanted to do Rhythm Nation in that or whatever towards the end of the show. But again, she just looked great the entire time. This whole sequin bodysuit with the boots on and the cat suit. Like, and she was doing what she was doing. The dancers were dancing. Everything was good. I have a new niece. Thank you, Markeisha, who came with us to the show.
She was the cutest.
She was able to get some filming and do some kind of like behind the scenes stuff. So she put a video out there on my on Facebook page. So definitely go check out the July 12th version. Like July 12th, around that time. And she has the video out there. She's great at what she does. She does stuff for D&K Sounds and everything else. She's worked for a couple of people. But if you guys need some video stuff, Markeisha's that person. So anyway, but we did that. I spent a lot of time at the beach. Well, not the beach. I'm sorry, at the pool. And listen, It is something about being at the pool. You ain't got no place to be, nowhere to go. You just laying out, just getting, you laying out like a pat of butter, just spreading in the sun. And so that's what I did. A lot of times that, there were some some legal drugs that were involved. So you listen, your boy was having a moment. So I had a good time. Did a lot of lazy, whatever I wanted to do, because I was off from work. I wasn't going into work. And it is so important for people to disconnect from work, because I think every time we get on this show, we always talk about stuff that happens for us at work. And while it is a way to decompress, you also need time away to decompress. And when I tell you, it took everything in me to not open an email, not answer a call. It took everything in me, but baby, I did it. And when I tell you, I felt so good about it, because I came back just beaming like, Jesus, this has been a great 2 weeks. I ain't seen y'all. I don't know shit that's going on. I ain't missing. I ain't stressed. Like I felt, I just felt good.
Just calm.
Just very calm, very peaceful. So I tell people all the time, if you have the time, please take that time to reset yourself. Because I definitely did that. Let's see. After that, a lot of time, spent just doing nonsensical BS, the stuff that I wanted to do, going here, going there at any particular point in time. Had a couple DNA appointments, some serious conversations and some not serious conversations.
Keep going. I'm turning my camera off for a moment, but keep going.
No, you good. Like I said, some serious conversations, some not so serious conversations. Had some kink fetish stuff going on. Had a little session with one of the DNA appointments, and I might have another one. So we'll see how that.
Wait a minute. Does Shantae possibly got a man at home?
No. Shantae has a DNA session. That's what Shantae got.
Oh, okay. Well, you said you had some serious conversations.
That I just said serious conversations and some not serious conversations.
Oh, so, okay. I'm just asking.
That's where we at. And so we had let's see. Oh, so I do have a couple things I do need to take care of. I just don't. And thank God that I was not. Well, I'm not saying thank God. Listening to the universe, some of that funding is being funneled somewhere else where it needed to be. So I'm a little mad.
Well, the level of broke bitch that I would be if we had gone on that trip, but I would have enjoyed. I said it to you. I was like, girl.
Yes, you did. We had that
way that we would have been so broke.
Yes, we did. We had that conversation. And so again, it had to be channeled into some other things.
Yes.
But which is a good thing. So we, nobody can't be without no job or no place to live or just take care of your responsibilities or whatever else you got going on, whatever that is. Right. So thank God for that. But again, it's just been chill. It's done a lot of karaoke, and just really everything that I really wanted to do. So I don't feel anything bad about my time off, and I enjoyed it. That's just my stuff in a nutshell. So that's the abridged version. I'm probably forgetting a few things because it's been so long. But listen, the best thing is I really reset myself and got a peace of mind, especially when it comes to work. So I'm back at one and back at peace. But this week has been a little crazy because of the Black Degree Factory. Everybody coming back. Everybody want to try to get their stuff going, and so that's where we're at right now. So dealing with the mama bears and the papa bears, and none of these bears are cute. That's my issue. But okay, whatever. But other than that, that's pretty much been what's been going on for me in the last month. Oh, and I'm sorry. Then, like I said, my laundry that I got to do in these 2 plastic bags, because I can do my towels and I could also do my sheets over there. But whatever.
Don't you have washing machine, drying machine in your apartment?
I do, but when I go to wash my towels and my sheets, because of the way it is, I can probably get 1 set of sheets in there.
Oh, gotcha.
Not very efficient. And I listen.
You always come through the crib because, baby, the way I was washing comforters and shit and pillows and everything in my chateau.
Baby, that is when I say the thoughts of buying property. That is the only. I'm not gonna say the only reason. That is one of the main reasons why I'm like, listen, I want to throw my comforter in this damn washing machine.
Yes, girl. And I will just be very clear. I compromised on a few things, like not having gas in my house, which actually ended up being fine and whatever. But there was no compromising on having at least a washer and dryer hookup.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's no way. I was like, no, absolutely. There's no way.
And the sad part is, yeah, and that's the sad part. The sad part is, when I go into a laundromat, I have this thing of like, why am I here? Like, I really could wash all of my clothes at home. But again, the problem is my comforters. And if I just throw them into the big washer and kind of get them going, that's cool. But then I also get annoyed because I have like thick towels and washcloths and stuff. And I was like, well, if I'm going to a laundromat, I might as well wash those things too. But now listen, my delicates, my personals, and my clothes. Now, baby, I'm gonna take them one at a time because I'm not taking that to laundromat. But the stuff that's large and bulky, like even some of my sweaters that if I don't send them to the dry cleaner, baby, I'm putting them in. And if I was in the wintertime, I had to go because I wash my comforters like every so often. But because I'll rotate them out and I'll take them all at the same time. But yeah, I will definitely be doing those one-offs at home. I don't want to take too much to the I don't like that. No, ma'am, I don't. But yeah, other than that, it's been really good. I'm sure you all are happy, or you'll be happy to know that Clark has survived this last month. She got on my last nerves, and we had the past couple of days where she's just getting a little extra antsy. She's been running around. I done changed a little food up, so I don't know if that's giving her more energy or not. But I'm gonna have to look into that because if not, somebody gonna have to call the people because me and she's a lot of energy right now, but she's good.
Good.
She's good. So, but that's pretty much it for me. What about you? How was the last month and how has that been for you?
All right, but let's start with Janet Jackson because
good times with Janet Jackson got
the show. We make fun. I make fun of Janet Jackson, but she is a legend, and I was very excited to go see her. Honestly, not as excited as I was to go see Beyonce, but I think one is allowed to have one's favorites. But that doesn't mean that I was like, nah, go because someone's giving me a ticket kind of thing. I was actively interested and excited to go. I pulled my look together. I did. I came in. I tippy paws into the joint with the girls. I went through a mini. Like a little bit of the same thing I went through before Renaissance. I took pictures. I was very Cher Horowitz. I was very like.
Come on, Cher.
Should I go with option A or option B? Because
yes.
did I not send pictures?
Listen, baby, the pictures. All laid out, all the pictures, and
with the shoe choices and everything. So that ended up going well. So the concert was good. I was annoyed, though, not about anything about Janet, but artists these days, unless you're like a Patti LaBelle, where all you're known for, well, let's not even, a Patti LaBelle, an Aretha, a Diana Ross, where people are fine and expecting you to stand there. You might move a little bit this way and move a little bit that way, but 90% of the time, you are just standing there singing. But for artists like Beyonce and Janet Jackson and others, the visual is part of it. So where we were sitting, it was in the back, but sure, whatever. The tickets were free. I can't complain. I was inside the building. So I assume the first act was Nelly. And I didn't even like.
We forgot he was even on the ticket.
Right, I was like,
bitch, I don't even know who this is.
Her girl, whatever. And all he had was like a little screen that from where we were was like this. But everybody around us was like, great, we're literally in front of because this was at the Capital One Arena. Mm-hmm. So where they had basketball games and stuff. So we were literally sitting in front of a Jumbotron. So I was like, this is actually perfect because we will have like an uninterrupted, huge view of Janet Jackson close up.
Right. It did not work out that way.
We're up here. Janet Jackson is way down there. She was this tall.
Yes. And wait.
And the screen was this tall. So you could see the screen a little bit, but it was still tiny. So you couldn't, if you weren't close enough to see, you really couldn't see what was going on. And even if the screens are super high resolution, when you're that far away, it was about the size of a postage stamp. So the sound was lovely. And y'all, I just want to be clear. The show was sitting to my left.
This bitch.
See, because
this is where we get ready to go. Go ahead. Come on.
No shade. But it was, as much as the show was good, watching Epic get into his favorite artist, and when she starts like, the guys at the bodies, I don't know all the words. I'm not even going to, and then everybody's like, "Oh, for you," but then she come in with something like, dun, 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 dun. And then Epic's like, "Yes!" And me and Marquisha was like,
so yeah, but that's because Marquisha didn't even know. Marquisha is younger.
She is young. She's 25 years old. 25. So, like, even like All For You, like Rhythm Nation.
She didn't even know. She didn't know these songs.
There are a generation of people. So, did you ever watch Metrosexuality?
No,
that movie with Ricky Beetle Blair, where in the movie, Ricky Beetle Blair's character says, "I could never date someone who didn't know Janet before she was a Jackson." And that movie was made in the late 90s or early 2000s. Marquisha, and no shade to Marquisha, because
not at all.
But it was just a shock to me.
Because when she said she only knew "I Get Lonely" and
right, because we were like Rhythm Nation, and she
was like
4, 3, 2, 1, All For You, Black Cat.
Yeah, she knew.
And what was the slow song? I Get Lonely.
I Get Lonely, and there was another one.
No, it wasn't I Get Lonely. It was a Skirt Around My Waist, Wall Against My Face, whatever that song.
Anytime, Any Place.
Anytime, Any Place. So she knew like 2 songs.
She knew those 2 songs.
She didn't know anything from the Rhythm Nation album. She didn't know anything from before that. She didn't know anything from what was the Black and White?
Discipline.
No. Before that, with
Black and White album cover was Rhythm Nation.
No. It was after that. I'm thinking. Remember how she and Michael went through this phase where they did all their videos with like black and white. Like Michael Jackson's was with Naomi Campbell, and then she had her hair kind of up in a bun.
You're talking about Love Will Never Do. That was there was
So she didn't know any of that. Now she did know Scream, the song with Michael Jackson, but like all of that shit, we was just like, we was both looking at her like, you don't know none of this?
I just and listen, I already knew I was gonna know all this stuff. So I was like, okay, let me not impose. But listen,
Epic knew all of this. Well, let me get inside the screen. Epic knew all of this. I knew maybe this much. Because I'm like the casual fan. She knew this much.
Closer. That much. Yes.
Yeah. So it was just shocking to me. Not really, because listen, when we were her age, and if our parents had been talking about, Butt Bone or whomever, we would have been like, I have no idea. Like the Temptations. Like here it is. Like when we were 25, and if your parents, because we're twice as old as she is, if our parents had been like, so tell me your favorite Diana Ross songs, we would have been like, baby, baby, baby. We would have named like 3 or 4 songs, but then they would have been like the deep cut, and they'd have been like, I cannot believe there's a generation of people who don't know Diana Ross and the Supremes, Smokey Robinson, and can't give you all the deep hits. Time moves on, so what are you going to do?
Listen, but hey, it was still, it was good. But anyway,
it was cute. So anyway, the reason, at least that I didn't go on the trip, was because, and I have her permission to tell the story in round tones. My sister got sick on Juneteenth. And I sort of alluded to that. We spent time in the ER. I don't think I told y'all that night, that Wednesday, when we finally got her to the hospital, we sat in that emergency room for 19 and a half hours before she was seen. And so they finally saw her. She was in the hospital from Juneteenth until yesterday. And so she's home now. And so obviously I couldn't schlep on a plane. Obviously, in hindsight, I could have, but how was I supposed to know that on June 19th that, you know, she was going to be in the hospital this long? So of course I canceled the trip, and I told best friend and Epic, I was like, listen, I can't go. I will reimburse you for my portion of it. But then, you know, my two good Bristas was like, well, if you can't go, then we can't go. And it all that honestly almost more than her illness brought me to tears, that my friend, because listen, we all know some girls that have been like, okay, girl, we see you in 2 weeks. Do we or do we not know bitches that would have done that? But spot the lie though. And it moved me. It really did. And I don't know that I said this, but I'm saying it now. It moved me that two of my best friends would have been like, well, girl, we all came together. We all leaving together. And if you can't go, then we aren't going to go either. So, and it was instant. It wasn't like, well, girl, let me think about it. I called y'all. I just had dropped her off at the hospital. And when I finally got back home that day, I was like, listen, this doesn't feel like this situation is going to be resolved in the next 2 weeks before we need to get on this plane and head over to Barcelona. So I'm not going to be able to go. When I was on the phone, you all were both like, well, obviously we're not going.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, I think the only thing I said to you was, I was like, listen, you know, let me know what you need, or, you know, if there's something I can find out, because let me find whatever resources. And you was like, no, it's not going to happen. I was like, hey, okay, I get it. Because my thing is, I know firsthand with some of the care. And so I was like, okay, well, let me at least try to help him with that. But
and we ended up getting most of that taken care of, and which is why I didn't reach back out. But it wasn't because I wasn't grateful for.
Oh, no.
So while she was out, I mean, you know, I went to see her 3 or 4 times, or at least 2 or 3 times a week when I could. Baby, of course, she was all the way up in Georgetown. So, of course, it was on the other end of the world. So trying to get out there. And, of course, you know, I got to work every day. So I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to come from my house in Southeast D.C. and fight all the traffic to get all the way out there to Georgetown University Hospital and then get back. So I made it a couple of times a week and everything, but she is home and she is getting her life back together. So I am very happy about that.
We love you.
While we were out, so my good friend and our former brother Cornelius did a drag performance. It was cute. And it was cute. It was cute. It was cute.
I don't remember you sharing any of the pictures with me. We talked about it, or like you mentioned it, but
I took some video, so I'll send it to you. The thing was,
and Cornelius is a genetic as well. So let me be clear. So I'm fine with
and we saw him at the show. Yeah. And so it was sponsored by the Triangle Club, which I think is a group for people in recovery.
Okay.
But they had cocktails at the bar.
You quit your playing.
So no. I'm not suggesting that anybody who was in recovery had a drink, but they were all
but you know what? At some point, because I've had this conversation with one of our brothers. They are not bothered at this point, and if they are, they will leave. Because I'm conscious.
And it wasn't like that. It was just that. So I'm there, and so it was pretty much what I expected: a sea of white gays, and Cornelius, because you know he was in his element. But you know, so, and it was interesting to me that no one knew who I was because I didn't go as Dominion. I finally got a chance to wear those the black and white pants that I bought for Renaissance.
Oh yeah,
the flowy bell-bottomy pants.
Cute.
So I was looking very gay. So if you didn't know me, and so no one recognized me, but people were like, "You're here for Cornelius," and I was like, "Why? Because I'm black."
Yes.
I wanted to say that, but I knew how to act in public. And then so I'm sitting there with my cocktail, just sipping on my cocktail, and then it dawned to me because I know that Cornelius is in recovery, but I didn't realize that 99% of the people that were there are in recovery too. So I'm just sitting, I mean, I only had like one drink, but it was just a weird dichotomy to me. So anyway, so that was that. So then we said Cornelius, Kendra, Janet. All right. So I also have another story to tell. A friend of mine that you've met, and I told him I would tell him this story, but I would not use his name, got in a car accident and totaled his car. And he's actually lucky to walk away. But I read him down. I was like, girl. I didn't say girl, but I was like, bitch.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Was there anything involved? Any substance involved?
No.
Okay.
I was like, so he texted me the picture of his car, right? And I was like, what the fuck happened? Because this man has the worst luck with vehicles.
The only person that I can
No, it's not who you thinking.
Okay.
no, it's not him. It's not him, because that motherfucker look at a car and have an accident.
Wait, but there's two of them.
Wait a minute. Start with an A.
There's one in Baltimore.
Yes. Starts with an A. His name starts with an A. Yeah, that girl looks at a car and has an accident. But no, this is not that person.
Okay.
Anyway, so he texted me and was like, I was in a car accident, I am, pretty, not feeling well or whatever. And I was like, are you okay? And blah, blah, blah. And then, so what did I say? He said that I have been cleared to go to work and all of this. So hold on, I'm going back. He says, I have the works luck too. I'm okay, but I was in an accident last night. Oh, that was why, because we were supposed to go to brunch. And then I was like, holy shit, are you okay? How's the ride? He said, kind of not okay. The car is totaled. I said, anything I can do to help? He said, thanks, but nothing right now. Just need to make better decisions. He said, I said, were you drinking or something? He says, no, I was just tired, but I got a come over message. I was like, see, first of all, I can't even be mad because who among us has not been, first of all, who among us has not been chilling at the crib on a Saturday night? You decided you ain't going out. You just chilling at the house. You watching YouTube videos or whatever. And then somebody says, send you a message. Come over. And you think about it for like 30 seconds. You like,
on my way.
Exactly. So who among us?
I'm just saying, I know.
And that's literally what I said. See, I can't even be mad, LOL, because who among us? And he said, yeah. And I said, I'm glad that you were able to walk away from this and everything. And then I said, please take care of yourself. And he said, I'll do a better job. And then I said, please do. How you gonna almost get taken out by a booty call? You got the game fucked up.
All the way fucked up.
So he's better and he's getting stuff together. But I was like, when he first said it, I was like, bitch, I've been there before the grace of God go I, because I have been there. Like,
wait a minute, bougie. So here we go. So we back on this. We're in 2024. We back on this now, bougie. We back on this because I had a scheduled DNA appointment that I left early. We back on this. We not talking about you not showing up. We just talking about me leaving early. That's what we talking about. We talking about that. We talking about, because there's a whole event that you ain't even show up to, and I stayed late, and you ain't even show up. We back on this, Boochie. That's what we doing. Right. Here we motherfucking go. Right. That's what we doing. But okay, I'm gonna we just coming back. We ain't gonna listen. We ain't gonna air all our dirty laundry.
Not too much. Not too much.
We're gonna bring it down a little bit. Because listen, mine is back there in the bag. Because I'm gonna take that little laundry down the white. But
right. So I had brunch at a couple of cool spots. You know, La Vie used to be my spot, but you know, the prices went up and the quality went down. So we went to a new spot right in the same block. So right down at the wharf called Lamani that we got to check out. She was cute.
Okay.
And so that leads to today. Now, you know how I get when I get angry. There are lists.
Jesus.
Of papers.
Because, baby, listen, I will say this. For one very intimate conversation that you had with someone, the fact that you did bullet points, I said, oh my God. It was like Roman numeral 1.
Sub bullet. A,
B,
C.
And then numbers 1, 2, and 3.
Because I got to get my thoughts together because I'm a very emotional person. And so, you know how you like get so emotional that you don't really get all of your words and your thoughts out. And then afterwards you're like, shit, I let my emotions overrule what I was really trying to get across. So that's why I write everything down so that even in like this, because like I'm excited for us to come back and I didn't want to forget anything. So I'm like, I got bullet points on another screen. But for this, but what I want you to notice is the scribble scrabble and like how fast that is written, because as it was happening in live time, I am like, point 2.
Listen.
3. And well, you know, I type already. I mean, I write in all caps already, but still. So this was an all caps internal rant. And then I talked to my good work buddy, and then my other good work buddy, to, you know, so they were like.
And wait a minute. On a side note, Josh, I saw your message about this announcement. We're
gonna get with you about that.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So it's like, all right, so calm down. I'm still gonna say everything I'm gonna say, but it's not gonna be like when I worked for ICE in 2007, where I'm like, bitch, who the fuck are you talking to? Because that's how that conversation went.
Right.
But then I knew that I was quitting the next day because I'm not quitting this job. But I had to let her know. So I'm gonna give you because what happened was we had a huddle this morning. First thing, we have a standard thing, right, of whatever our standard safety message is. Now, you know, I got the smooth, I like to think, you know, radio, Barry White voice. So, you know, I'm like, there are 6 pillars of safety and security at this company: emergency preparation, evacuation, safety reporting, health and well-being, security, and cybersecurity. Know your location. If you see something, say something. So I'm taking the script, but I'm adding context around it based on people that I talked to that wrote the script, people and other bulletins that we've got. But I get a note from my boss, from the big boss. It was like, we need to stick to the script. That's because the big boss is terrible at these kinds of presentations. So I'm being penalized because you don't know how to give presentations. And it felt like that commercial where the guy is presenting something to his boss and, you know, they're like, well, maybe you should change this color from red to blue. And the guy's thought bubble is the poodle jumping through the hoops. So I was like, all right, so fine. So then after that, she says, hey, Brian, because y'all all know my name is Brian, that side note, I've never worked at a company with so many people named Brian. There are literally 25 people, I wish I was exaggerating, that I know directly on my team or extended team named Brian. So it's a lot. Anyway, she was like, we need to have a talk. And then proceeds to lay into the entire team to the point where my sister in the next room, it was like, who is that woman yelling at y'all like y'all were 5? Now, my sister doesn't normally hear all of this. And so then I dropped my sister off where she needed to go for the morning. And I am, hot as fish grease like this whole time. Then I get back to the office and we're having this lessons learned. These sessions, which I hate, because lessons learned sessions are often about people who didn't do shit, trying to pass the buck or pass the blame for why they didn't do whatever the fuck it was they were supposed to do. And as people continued to talk and their foolishness was entertained, I started, because at first I only had these 3 points. Points number 4, 5, and 6. 7, 8, 9, and 10. That was during that session. So afterwards, I was like, we need to talk. So she didn't blow me off, but she was busy with stuff. But so 10 minutes. And so I started to translate this into something a little bit more cogent and legible. But she called me. And so I started by saying, you and the big boss, I was like, you do not have our backs. Because if you did, there is no way you would have talked to us like that in the meeting today. You basically laid all of the dysfunction of this entire organization at our feet and said, not that it is a challenge that we need to solve, but that it was our fault. And you said that regardless of who people work for, we are responsible for making sure that they perform. So that's like, you don't work for me, Epic, but if you don't perform your job, they're going to come to me and be like, Dominion, why didn't Epic do his job? And when I say Epic don't work for me, that's not the problem. The work that Epic does is normally done by our group, so we need to manage it. But contractually, I literally have no control over how Epic does that. That's still that's a problem that you need to fix.
Right.
No, it is not a problem I need to fix because you are under a written legal contract to somebody else to do that work. And so all of this stuff, I was just like, these last 3 points, my reports will be done and submitted by 2:00 today. My forecast for the month of August is due on Friday. Those deliverables will be met. I need to calm down. So after 2 p.m. today, I will not be available, nor will I be available all day on Thursday. And I said, I'm not going to be available all day to the rest of the day today or all day Friday. I will see you at 8:00 on Friday. And I felt like she was starting to say something, but I don't know because I was already hanging up by then. I wish I had though the old Motorola phones were so satisfied because I felt like I just wanted to be like
flip. You're like, I am done. Like click.
And then when I talked to my work buddies afterwards, she was like, she had it coming. She had been, trying to tell my boss and the big boss and the big boss's boss all this time that, this team is not happy. And it was already wrong enough that she was talking to me that way. But today she basically said that everybody on her team, because you forget that all these people work for you, were doing a terrible job at managing all of this stuff. And then when we deliver stuff, because basically it came down to saying people don't like us. I was like, no. People don't like you.
Right.
Because I know that because I've had that conversation with people. Anyway, so that's enough about work. So I told people I would give you the details on the show. That is that. Since my rich white woman summer vacation got canceled, I do have a proposal for next summer. Folsom, Europe, mid-September.
You might as well just stop right there because I'm already in.
Good. I knew you would be, and I know best friend will be too.
Well, but hold on. Wait. I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Folsom in September or October?
Folsom, Berlin is like the second week in September, and then Folsom, San Francisco is the last weekend in September.
Okay, because I was thinking of Blackout for 2025.
And Blackout will be a month after Folsom, Berlin.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear. Okay, all right, okay. Yes, I'm in. Because first of all, unfortunately, I was going to do Folsom, even if it wasn't the same time. Sorry. I've never been to Folsom. Been to Blackout several times.
Right. I mean, I've never been to Berlin. I mean, of all of the places that we were going to go between
Berlin was definitely
Sitges, Barcelona, and Berlin, the piece that I was saddest about missing was going to Berlin.
Listen,
so we'll get it together. And then also, so to make up for it, this summer, I will be ending my summer with a upwardly mobile middle class woman's trip to San Francisco. So I'm going to be in San Francisco for a week for around Folsom. So I'll be there from Wednesday to Tuesday.
Do not end up in a video again, or not. I'm just listen.
I can neither I promise to just be good at whatever I'm in a video of doing.
Okay, well, listen. There was never any questions about whether you were good. I just want to make sure that you knew that you showed up, and listen. The eyes are, and they always.
Oh no, I know that now because remember it was Sydney that clued me in.
Hey, yeah, that sent it to you. So I get it. I'm just saying. Hey. And listen, I need to say the same thing for my own damn self. So let's be clear with that.
Right. So we've got a few TikToks and some fun stuff, but this one is serious. But I thought this was pretty important.
Everyone says marriage should be 50-50. It's the biggest crock of bullshit I've ever heard. It's never 50-50.
Yeah.
Ever. And so what we do is we quantify where we are. So if Steve comes home and he'll be like, I got 20.
Just in terms of energy.
Just energy, investment, kindness, patience. I'm at 20. And I'll be like, I'll cover you. I got you, brother. Like, I'll pull the 80. Sometimes we come home, which we have done a lot. My mom has been sick. And I'll say, I've got 10. And Steve would, like 2 days ago, said, I'm riding a solid 25. So we know that we have to sit down at the table anytime we have less than 100 combined and figure out a plan of kindness toward each other.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because the thing is, marriage is not something that's 50-50. A partnership works when you can carry their 20 or they can carry your 20. And that when you both just have 20, you have a plan where you don't hurt each other. Everyone says marriage should be 50-50.
That actually resonated with me pretty deeply because it's not something that I had really sort of thought about.
Babe, listen, baby, it is one of those things where just watching the relationships of family members and where they've been and watching how, as you get older, you understand what was going on because there were some life changes that were going on. Baby, listen, what she just said was she spoke the truth. Because I'm sure if you think back on your own parents' relationship, just like I think about my own parents' relationship, at some point it was like there was some carrying going on either side, and whatever was going on, it was necessary. But towards the end of it, at least for my parents, it was like, nigga, you need to be 100% for yourself because I need to be 100% for myself and my kids.
Right.
So yeah, I get it, and I agree with what she said wholeheartedly.
I have a favor to ask you.
What's up, bitch? Yes, queen?
My friend Michael is coming over, and he doesn't know that I'm...
Is it running slow, or is it me?
Come on, girl.
No offense, but you're really gay.
No, I know.
No, you're very obviously gay.
I get that. I code switch when I'm in front of him.
You what?
I really put it on, and I'm just like, yeah, we watched that sports game. Like, you see those cheerleaders? They really fucking did it for me.
That was... Do it again.
I need you guys to tone it down a little bit, at least until I can come out to Michael.
So you're asking us to be straight in front of your friend?
Please. I'm really nervous about this.
This is really problematic, but yeah, we'll do it. When does he arrive?
He'll be here in 4 minutes.
Walk past the line cause I'm on the list. 2 times 2, that's how many cheeks are kissed. Bitch, you can have him back, really, I insist. If perfection wasn't real, then I wouldn't exist. But I do. Shots from the back cause he liked the view. And they dare me to fuck him, that's the truth. I got his card on file, buy me something new. You know I need a new fit just to match the
Are you ready?
Ready.
What's up, Michael? How you doing, bro? These are my friends.
Hey, ladies. Hey, bitch. Hey, you stupid dumb.
Guys, I have a favorite.
That was just hilarious to me. Even if no one else finds it funny, I did.
It was funny because I've been in that position.
Oh,
But
where the
love
girls
to
ask
see-
you to butch it up for somebody?
Well, going back and forth between the straight side and the gay side, the straight side and the gay side, just in general. And I remember having that conversation with the BFF up in Baltimore a couple of times.
Mhm.
Like this what we're gonna do. I need you to. But I do remember. But I like his videos. He does, especially the one where he's like walking down the street and he's twerking. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's good. I like his stuff.
So then we got one TikTok before we get to Instagram.
Tickety tickety.
Come on, girls.
Top tickety 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 top. Oh, hey Texas.
She's slow today.
6 foot tall, 180-pounder, and said quarterback.
I just need to go on record before Bougie Girl goes and tries to claim my man, that is my man. My man. That's
beautiful.
my man.
He's beautiful.
My man. Say it with me.
He was beautiful. I'm still
Man.
stuck on he was just beautiful.
That's my man.
Yeah, he was built in the back, built in the front, nice face. He tall as shit. Like he looked like a tree, like I can climb on top of him. That motherfucker, that's a lot.
Bitch.
Atlas, I don't know, baby. I don't know if you want to see Daddy in the street. I don't know about that. Ooh,
There
the line
is no
has been drawn. The line has been drawn. Bougie Girl comes out with that. She put
baby,
that first line in the sand.
Atlas knows I love him. God is my witness, but I kill him dead if he try to take my man.
I listen. Bougie done drew a line in the sand too. I'm just saying.
I appreciate.
Hold on, I gotta go back to this because
I don't do Southwest. I need to know my seat. I appreciate their business practices. I also do not ride United. I guess they're still in business, but I don't ride United. No shade. I mostly fly American and Delta.
first of all, everything that you said. So you don't fly Southwest. I'm fine with that. I personally love Southwest.
I do too.
Because, bitch, all I gotta do is set my alarm for a day before it's time for me to go. I get the A's. As long as I'm in the A group, I get to sit anywhere I want on the plane. I ain't got to fight with the girls over nothing. It's them B's and the C's, the girls that's got to fight with people. But everything that you said, like you're too bougie for United, but you fly American?
And both of those airlines you just talked about was the ones that was having all these problems, that was grounded and couldn't fly nowhere. But okay, all right.
Right. And I mean, I get Delta because, Delta, she can be cute, but American? Girl, you trying to be bougie and say that you fly American? Mm-mm.
Child, American was so... Listen, I'm going to leave that alone.
For me, American is a quarter of a step above Spirit.
Yeah, the American of 2024 is not the American of even 2000. So let's start with that. So that American, yes, she was that girl. She was that bitch. Even up into in the 90s, she was that bitch. But
the seats always these, you know, because like some seat, you know, it looked like the seat is just really like a kitchen. It looked like a dining room chair bolted to the floor. They should look cheap to me.
Bougie, go sit in the corner. Go.
But Bougie, I'm with you. I don't trust nobody in shiny polyester in the daytime. I mean, it's the facts.
Go sit in the corner. Both of y'all.
Domestically, other travel rules. I get to the airport early. I'm not one of those that will pull up an hour before my flight, even if I only have a carry-on bag. I don't risk it. And for people like, well, what you just gonna do? Just sit at the airport, you sit in the lounge. Okay? Sit in the lounge, nice little comfortable seat, put your AirPods in, get free food, drinks, and you chill, and then I'm gonna walk to my gate.
I will tell you, they also, so if you have or know someone who does have a platinum Amex and can get you into the Centurion Lounge, if they have one, because they have one in Atlanta and they just put one in at Washington National Airport. She's a real cute way to spend 2 hours before a flight. She's a very cute way. And she is right about that. You know, it's cocktail down. It is gourmet food down. Now it's like appetizers and snacks. I mean, you can't order like a steak dinner, but it's food, it's drink, it's a comfortable atmosphere, it's lots of free Wi-Fi and plugs to plug your shit in. So yeah.
And don't you I think what was that? Was that the United Lounge or the United Lounge that we went in?
When we were in the United Lounge, yeah. So anybody, whoever it is, if they got a lounge and you can find your way to get into it,
they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Do it. Yes.
Honey, I am not gay. I am 100% straight. What part of that don't you people understand? I have more women in my phone than I have hair on my head. I've had more girlfriends than Law & Order SVU has seasons. Honey, I'm straight like measuring tape. You gays are just mad because you can't have me. You're mad because I'm serving hetero fish and you're serving rainbow trout. Filthy. Filthy. Sashay away. Away with her. Take the girls to the dungeon. This is not an act. My heterosexuality is real. Do I look like the type of person who would pretend to be straight? Honey, I don't need to pander because I am the standard. Would a gay person do this? I think not. Honey, I am not into men at all. Not even a little bit. I'm not even curious. I don't care. Honey, I don't care if the beat is sick. Get away from me with your disco stick. I'm hetero, but some people think I'm hetero adjacent. Honey, I'm straighter than the line that shows up when a doctor loses a patient. I've been a hetero boy. Is somebody gonna match my straight? Is somebody gonna match my straight? Is somebody gonna match my hetero? Is somebody gonna match my hetero? Honey, I am not gay.
When he said, would a gay person do
this?
It takes me out every fucking time.
Are you a part of the LGBTQ plus community? Honey, I am straight. I like women, honey. I am a straight, feminine man. Honey, I am just as straight as Megan Thee Stallion is tall. Bow. I am so straight, I make The Rock look like RuPaul. Bow. Category is heterosexuality. I'm straight like lines on notebook paper. Straight like a bamboo tree. Bow. I can give you hetero. I can give you sass. Bow. I can give you femme, and I can give you mask. Bow. My energy, feminine, like a mermaid from Atlantis. Bow. My wrist, limp, just like a praying mantis. Bow. These gays that try to get with me can all sashay away. Bow. These gays think they ate, but there's still food on that plate. Bow. I'm feminine and I'm hetero, and all I do is thrive. Bow. You gays think you slayed, but honey, I am still alive. Are you a part of the LGBT?
Bow.
He is a clown. He is.
I love him so much.
Hi, my name is Father Ryan Kaut. I'm the pastor here at the Newman Center.
Hi, I'm Father Alex Sassy. I'm the assistant to the pastor here at the Newman Center.
That's right.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
100%. It's crazy. He like cleans and washes the dishes.
Though he has made strides.
Yeah, I'm growing up.
Huge strides this year. He does dishes.
Yeah. He's kind of got this hipster thing going.
Look at these shoes. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at this coffee cup.
I'll show those to the people.
The dogs are barking.
Oh my gosh.
You do that?
I mean, every once in a while, like who doesn't? You know, sometimes you just get a lot
It's in
going on,
your
you just gotta let it out.
genes.
Yeah. I combine honestly.
Make Kate cry?
Yeah. Or well, not
In like a
just,
good way or bad way?
Who's
Those
most
are
likely to
very
make somebody cry?
Yeah, both. Well,
Yeah,
first,
positively
in
or
a good
negatively?
way, and then in a bad way.
Okay, good way?
Probably me.
Bad
Yeah.
way?
Probably him. Let's just be honest. He'd probably be quicker to reconcile though, so that's good.
I'd say sorry.
Yeah.
But
Sorry you're so weak.
sorry you can't handle
Sorry
it.
you can't handle the truth.
Hi, my name is Father Ryan.
Bougie Girl said, "Father Sassy is mine." I was like,
What did
Bougie
I do
Girl-
right here? Because this feels like a whole relationship.
Atlas said, "I've seen this porn," and I agree.
That's what this is, because this is a whole relationship. That's what this is like.
Right. Bougie Girl said, "Father Sassy is mine." I was like, honey, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but
Father Sassy
Sassy,
is for everybody. That's what I see.
first of all, yes, he's for the streets, and there's nothing that you can say to convince me that these two are not straight. Would a straight man do this?
So yeah, that's where we are with them. Okay.
And if you notice, you can't really see, but you know, most of these other videos you can comment on, they done turned off all the comments on this because they know everybody was in there like, so.
You know what? Wasn't this called Nick and Tyler Stepbrothers? Oh my God. Oh my God. But listen, thank you for giving me something to look for.
So this.
Babe! Daddy!
Hello?
Daddy!
Hello? Hello? Hey! Hey! Hello?
Daddy!
When I watched this, I was like, oh, all this dust and pollen. This is a terrible allergy season this year.
Listen, we're gonna get you some allergy pills and you know.
Epic Onyx dead inside, everyone. I can see it on your face that you were not moved.
I was not. But then again, I'm the person that was.
So y'all remember my other man. Now this is my man too. I got two men.
Lord.
Remember that picture of the guy who was in the Dominican Republic that time? And we were all like, is he? I think he is, because he's in a, because I follow him on, now I have never done this before, and I only feel slightly bad about it, slightly. But he's in a video with his good friend, his strictly heterosexual friend, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. So
I fell in love with somebody who doesn't even know my name, no.
He looks like he's carved out of a block of brown sugar, and I can't stand it.
Okay.
Epic Onyx dead inside, everyone.
Okay.
All right. So that was that. I was moved by it. I have been moved by him, and I, wouldn't mind being moved by him. So
listen, if you are moved by him, and you have said this before, your words are he must be pretty and damaged.
I'll just show we'll see if any of these pictures move you. Yeah, this is hold on, I gotta add it to the screen. He be riding around a lot with a bunch of different dudes, so
So he's a very attractive young man. Let me be clear, he's a very attractive young man, but now the dude in the red shorts,
Tirou onda, pois agora quem não quer saber. Tirou onda, pois
Now
agora quem não
that
quer
is a
saber.
movie I would watch over and over again. If you get my
Quem não quer saber.
And I will just say that there are a couple of his videos on his TikToks where he speaks.
he has that lisp, you know, that the gays tend to have, like a lisp.
It's not that he has a lisp. It's that, you know, some people were graced with beauty and some people were graced with intelligence.
And we already know where
yes
going with this.
But God bless him.
All righty.
So we got some stories for tonight.
Yes, we do. We have some stories. Listen, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I'm gonna try to cut these stories down and make them short, because I feel like we need to just give little blurbs. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to. I'm still working through this, so we're gonna figure this out as we go along. But listen, we're gonna start this off at the top of the hour. Rest in peace. Right now, we had 5 different people that kind of passed away. Shannon Doherty, actress, she was in Charmed at Beverly Hills 90210. She was 53. She passed and this is over the past month.
Yes.
Shelley Duvall, an actress from The Shining and also Popeye, if you remember her. She was 75 and she passed. Richard Simmons, we lost him. He was 76. He was a fitness instructor, of course.
That was a shock to me because I honestly thought he was already dead.
But listen, okay. Duke Fakir, and I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, but he was a singer. He's actually the last original member of the Four Tops. He passed away as well. He's 88. If you look at old pictures of the Old Tops, just so you know, he's the one that has the very, very keen features. Almost looks kind of like I want to say like maybe an Indian type of look or whatever. And then lastly,
Ethiopian,
yes. That's another one. Yes. We also lost Dr. Ruth Westheimer, and she was an American sex therapist. She was 96 years old. So rest in peace to those 5 people.
And that was also a shock to me because I thought that she had passed, but she was
a while ago. Yes,
she was, because no shade, but in the 80s she
was old then.
So if she was 96 then, so what, 40 years ago she was 56, but you know, and then 56 in 1984 was a lot different than 56 now.
Baby, you better say it. But this next story, so I chuckled because I was like, bitch, is this my future? Okay, it's been floating on the TikToks. Pauline Brown is handicapped and was driving into a Target parking lot on Tuesday, July 30th, when a distressing incident occurred. Now,
Aztec Daddy mentioned Angela Bofield.
Oh, okay. Forgot about that. Thank you, Aztec. Hey, happy to see you tonight. As she was pulling up into the handicapped spot reserved for people like herself, a car abruptly whisked past her and parked in a handicapped parking spot. So the stunning occurrence became even more jarring when Brown realized that the driver of the car was a young man who was fit as a fiddle alongside his 8-year-old brother. Now, Brown allegedly asked the person, Bosnick, if he was handicapped, and he replied to negative. She pulled out a .22 caliber pistol and shot him in both knees. The report continues that police were called to the scene and a shootout broke out between Pauline and the officers. Brown allegedly engaged the officers with an AR-15 assault rifle and managed to kill one and injure another before surrendering after she ran out of bullets. The badass Pauline Brown, who Dax News claimed is a former Special Ops Marine, was discovered to be wearing a bulletproof vest following her arrest. She told police that she was tired of the way white people are allowed to get away with everything, citing the recent Sonia Massey case in which a police deputy shot and killed an unarmed black woman in her home. The report quotes Massey as saying, I guess I was just in a bad mood. And when I saw the officers pull up, I figured they might try to murder me like they murdered her. And I wasn't about to let that happen. I'm tired of the police. I've been here 70 years and I'm tired. That's all I have to say. Baby, she is blowing up social media.
I put the picture up. Pauline Brown is not for the shits.
Listen, she is not for the shits at all. But so anyway, we alluded to this with the Barcelona trip because we talked about Paris and everything else. But just a quick update on the Olympics. Listen, there's a lot of things that's going on with the Olympics. There was even a mishap with Sha'Carri and the Jamaican runner because they weren't allowed to. They're not staying on the U.S. Olympic campus, and they're staying in other places, and they had to go in through the athletes' entrance, and they were denied for this last-minute change. There's a lot of some unrest that's going on or whatever. I don't really care about all that. Like, I mean, I'm watching it here and there, but listen, I was concerned about Simone. So listen, the GOAT. I just want to give us a report on where she is with the Olympics. CNN has reported that Simone Biles and Team USA Gymnastics clinching the goal in the women's team final. Biles, who had a calf injury in the preliminary round, competed in all four gymnastics events and is now the most decorated American gymnast of all time. So for the 2024 Olympics, she has 4 medals, 3 gold and 1 silver, but her total is 11 Olympic medals, 7 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze. Listen, we will do nothing but respect that. Listen, we will also talk about Serena Williams being the GOAT. We will also mention that Simone Biles is the GOAT. So listen, that is all we're saying about that, and that's where I am. You have issues with that? Get your own show and talk about somebody else. The other story that I wanted to mention was, for those of you that are Britney fans, there's a biopic in the works, and it all started when a mysterious tweet happened on August 1st, and it read, "Excited to share with my fans that I've been working on a secret project with Mark Platt. He's always made my favorite movies. Stay tuned." And this was from Britney directly. Now, all was clarified after the tweet was sent, with Variety reporting that a Britney Spears biopic is in the works. Universal Pictures has obtained the rights to her bombshell memoir, The Woman in Me, with John M. Chu, who is currently finishing up the Wicked films directing, and Spears' apparent favorite filmmaker, Platt, producing. So the Ankler reports that the deal was in the 8-figure range, including publishing rights to Spears' music catalog. The production companies of Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, and Shonda Rhimes had all expressed interest, meaning Spears pushed off the chance to reunite with her Crossroads screenwriter. So listen, we don't have any other news about it. It's just in the work. And we talk about 8 figures. Girl, good for you. Get your money.
Get your coins.
Get your coins. For those of you in the DC area, the DMV area, or just may have heard national news over the past, 20, 25 years, notorious DC drug pen Rayful Edmonds is moved ahead of his 2025 release date. Now, this notorious kingpin was convicted in the 90s for distributing crack cocaine in DC during the 1980s and has been moved into community confinement ahead of his 2025 release date, according to federal officials. Edmonds was moved Tuesday, July 30th, to an unknown location by the Nashville Residency Reentry Management Office of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. This was told to 7 News, Jake Carf. It's unclear his exact status, but officials say community confinement means he was placed in a home confinement or a halfway house. So listen, that man is probably coming home sooner versus later.
I saw a video clip yesterday of him saying, "I'm coming home." So he was out in the world.
So again, that might be that halfway house situation, because again, he has some rights and privileges and phones and everything else. Not that the folks in prison don't have all that stuff now, but again, I'm just saying, Now, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all a secret. So I've been secretly watching RuPaul's All-Star season 9, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't want to know what I'm going to say, because it's a spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about who just won. So if you don't want to watch, turn your volume down, because it's going to be probably about 2 or 3 blurs I'm going to talk about. But that's so turn your volume down. I'm going to give you the hands up when I'm finished talking. But right now, turn your volume down if you don't want to hear. Okay, so following RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9 finale, a new queen has been crowned. The top 3 queens were competing for the supersized donation of $200,000 to the charity of their choice. And the 3 contestants were Vanessa Vanjie
Mateo,
Miss Vanjie Mateo, Angeria Paris Van Michaels, and Roxy Andrews. Now, baby, if you don't remember anybody, Miss Vanjie is just set the RuPaul stage on fire when she did the Vanjie Miss Vanjie,
Vanjie,
and then walked out backwards. Miss Roxy Andrews did the motherfucking infamous wig reveal that started all these motherfucking wig reveals. And she's a part of the Andrews family with Tandy and was her mother and Erica. I'm sorry, Tandy was her grandmother and Erica Andrews was her mother. These were some bad bitches. And Jerry Paris Van Michaels, who is an Atlanta favorite, and she does a lot of Southern drag. And when I mean by Southern drag, so big hair, costumes, like opulent jewelry, which most drag queens do. But again, in the Southern areas, it's kind of a little bit more common. Well, on the show during that season, sitting Vice President Kamala Harris made a special guest appearance during the season finale to encourage viewers to continue fighting against attacks on the LGBTQ plus community rights and freedoms. She was joined by Michelle Visage, as well as Jamal Sims, Lance Bass, Leslie Jones, and also Cheyenne Jackson. Now, ultimately, Angeria Paris Van Michaels was crowned the winner, and that $200,000 grand prize went to the National Black Justice Coalition, and that was the charity of her choice. RuPaul was quoted as saying, "In a season full of giving, Angeria Paris Van Michaels won me over with her kindness, uniqueness, nerve, and talent." So listen, congratulations to Angeria. So for those of you that didn't want to hear what happened, it's done now. Next thing, Janet Jackson confirms a new Las Vegas residency set to debut within months. She's confirmed that she'll begin a new residence in Las Vegas. The iconic singer 58 will begin a string of concerts at Resorts World Las Vegas, with the first shows set to debut around the holiday season. And this was confirmed by DailyMail.com. Janet Jackson's manager said that they're thrilled to announce her upcoming residency at Resorts World Las Vegas. She's in the final stages of signing her deal this week, according to TMZ. Sources say that she's going to ring in the new year with a special New Year's Eve performance at the venue. As soon as I hear about it, I might have to check it out. We'll see. Janet was reportedly offered.
Resorts World is supposed to be real cute too.
And I've never been. But she was reportedly offered a residency in London and passed on the offer because Vegas deal was more lucrative. And she just wrapped up her much anticipated Together Again tour, where she hit 35 different dates.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah.
Baby, first of all, how did you feel about it? Because I thoroughly enjoyed the movie.
It was good. There were a couple of moments where I just was like laughing out loud.
So listen, it's topping the $3 billion mark, according to Disney, because that's just a part of Disney now, in a worldwide ticket sales. And as its latest Marvel Studios release, it sits at around 850 million and heads towards about 1 billion box office by its third weekend release. Listen, according to Rotten Tomatoes, it had a 75% tomato reading of Fresh by all the critics, and then a 95% rating of all the audiences, which is like a 4.7 out of 5 stars. Listen, there were cameos, there was lots of humor, there were references both in the movies and outside the movies. It addressed some rumors, it showed some new characters, like it showed a lot of things. And I don't want to give a spoiler alert, but I am going to give a spoiler alert because we're going to talk about a few things. Listen, there's been talks of rebooting Blade, and there was references to that directly. There's been talks of another Marvel movie for Gambit. There was references in that. There was talks of even bringing some of the former Marvel characters back out for other movie and scene and shows and just something else for them. They made some appearances. They also talked about some new characters that they haven't made. Well, they haven't had a presence in some of the Marvel films, but they were referred to in other ones. Professor Charles Xavier's family members. They also talked about, or there were also some other guest appearances of all of the other versions of Deadpool. And Blake Lively showed up as one of those characters. And baby, we knew it was Blake Lively when we saw the blonde ponytail. But again, that's all the spoilers I'm going to give you all.
Puckpool was so adorably ugly.
Oh my God. What is her name is Miss, what did she say? Miss Pickens? Miss Puffins?
I don't know, but that dog is ugly, but the cutest little thing.
Baby, listen, tongue hanging out the side, hair looking crazy. Listen, but you got to see that if it's in a typical Deadpool fashion, it is very graphic. But it's kind of, I don't want to say a necessary humor, but it's just necessary for you to get it. So it's really good. It's on brand for Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds is fucking hilarious. The writers and just him in general is just amazing. And it's when they're breaking the third wall and the fourth wall and talking to the audiences, whatever. It's hilarious. So it's one of my favorites, and I love it. And I was having this conversation with Spiller Boy, and he said, you know what? He said, I never figured out why you fucking love Deadpool so much. He said, but as I watched it, he said, bitch, it reminds you, everything about him reminds you of you. Overtly gay about everything. Nasty as a, and I was just like, am I supposed to take this as a compliment or as a diss? But listen, I'm here for it. I feel a lot of stuff that Deadpool does, and I probably would say it or have said it to several people in several situations. But but then if I do say it, then I'm wrong. I'm nasty. I don't went over the top. I don't went too much. I'm ist because I'd have probably touched on race and sex and gender and politics and everything. I'd have touched on everything. But listen, that's how the fuck I felt. That's where I'm at. So I'm a work in progress, and that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure it out. But that's where we at. But again, I love it. I love Deadpool, and he's one of my favorites. I wanted to also take the time out over. I'm watching my Facebook feed, my social media, just all over, and I had a few social media slays that I wanted to point out. This first one was from our own on Facebook, Tank DC Pup. Listen, this is a message that he posted, and it was a conversation that was directed toward him. And the person said, "Hey, how you doing today? I like your profile, very nice, but you are married." And his response was, "And you messaged me in hopes of achieving some sort of written apology on my behalf of not being available for you. And you will convey your grievance to me being in an open marriage by messaging me and letting me know this in a disappointing rebuttal. I accept your block." Baby, I was so tickled at this. And when I say the slay that was laid upon this man,
I have never been more proud of my son-in-law,
baby,
in that moment. I was like,
this
that's a whole nasty read right there,
yes,
baby.
God. Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, God. So listen,
it was a simple read too, because the girls be trying to get complex with their mouth and run all of their words, but a good read is a simple read,
straight, direct, and to the point. But baby, he left no crumbs. But on to our second one, because again, this person we had on the show as well, and she's a friend of the show and family as well. But listen, there was a message that was sent to this particular person, Dominique Morgan. And so in her mailbox, this is what we saw. The message said to her, "Hi, Dominique. Would you like to finance reforestation and name trees after your clients and employees? Evertreen.com is the global platform for planting trees online and monitoring their growth via satellite. We will create your branded forest, and you will receive reports, video updates from farmers, and material to give your marketing a boost. The cost for companies is just $1.50 per tree. Do you think your company will be interested too? We plant in the UK, US, Canada, all over and more." Okay, so they said, "Let me know." Dominique's response was, "No, girl. People are dying. Presidents are dropping out. Monica and Brandy are reconciling. It's 100 degrees every day, and I wear wigs. If you don't get your baby, the way she slayed this response." Listen, these SMS, these social media slays, baby, kudos to you both. And I'm going to try to keep a lookout for all of these slaves. But baby, you all did all of that. All of that. So kudos to all of you for that.
Speaking of which, speaking of presidents dropping out. So, honey, there I was.
Listen.
Slowly reconciling myself to, because I still think Biden could have won if people, because I think people were just like, yeah, there's just no way. Like the song says, there is no way. Yeah, no way that I was not going to vote for Joe Biden. But he's old, honey. And I notice this a lot with people who, I don't want to stereotype about all young people. And so it's not even young people, but there are a lot of people who live in this is how the world should be. I'm always about this is how the world is, and what can I do about it? Would I like my president to be younger than 81 years old when he's elected? Because even at some point, you know, before he resigned or before he dropped out, Maxine Waters was like, Joe Biden's 81 and I'm 82 and I'm still going. And I said, Maxine, and you should drop out too. Shit.
Baby.
The fuck?
The way
there's no shade against Maxine Waters, but I'm like, girl, y'all are in your 80s. Y'all should be sitting down somewhere.
But the way Maxine was throwing that motherfucking jet black Beijing number 59 on that wig and still walk through like she ain't got no gray hairs.
I mean, if you can keep it moving, you can keep it moving. But just as a rule, like I saw somebody post somewhere that when, you know, there are certain professions where you literally can't continue after a certain age, like surgeon. Like you can't be a surgeon after like 70 or 72 or something like that. But I was ready. It's like the meme. It's like, is this your man? That's him. And I'm going to stick by him. But then as they started talking this shit, and I was like, because at first, it was just rich people like George Clooney and shit. And I have nothing against George Clooney personally.
Oh, I know.
But, you know, we gave people like that. And by people like that, I just mean, you know, rich Hollywood celebrities a platform. And they use their platform. But once it became a tsunami, and then once he announced that not only was he dropping out, but that he was throwing his full, because no one, let's just be very clear. Every person, when people were talking about Joe Biden dropping out, almost none of them were talking about Kamala Harris picking the torch up.
At all.
But when he said, I am dropping out and I am throwing my support between Kamala, Devi, Harris, and the groundswell, she raised $300 million in 1 month.
But listen, we got to talk about this also. She appointed Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. He's a former teacher, football coach, and National Guard veteran on the revamped Democratic Party ticket.
I liked him.
Listen, here's where I am. And someone, Bougie, as a matter of fact, Bougie said that in there. They could wheel his ass propped up like the Weekend at Bernie's on steroids with the paddle still attached to him, and I would still check his box before the alternative. And that goes for, while I may not necessarily have that much knowledge of Tim Walz and what he has done, because he's actually a senator now. Am I correct?
No, he's the governor of Minnesota.
I'm sorry, governor of Minnesota. I just read that. Okay. But I will not.
But he's apparently an extremely popular governor.
Yes, that's great. But I will not support the Orange Menace.
There's no way.
It's never been an option. So if she had picked off Lil Ray Ray on the corner as her running mate, now I wouldn't have been happy with him either. But guess what? I still wasn't voting for the Orange.
If she had picked Rayful Edmonds as her running mate.
Now, the sad part is I can even get behind Rayful Edmonds, because here's the thing, baby, you need to have a whole lot of this up here to manage what you got going on. And if you were selling drugs throughout all the motherfucking 90s, baby, you can do some shit.
Yeah, because that's disrespectful to all the people that he hurt, so I'm gonna leave that alone. But I get your point is taken. I know we're saying the same
The
thing.
business acumen is what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. But then, you know, the
for
orange
me,
upsets people as well because
it went from
he does his
the most tepid of support to a level of enthusiasm that I haven't felt since Barack. And I actually, maybe it's because I'm at a different point, because 2008, bitch, that we are in 2024. That was 16 years ago.
Yes, indeed.
So maybe I'm at such a different point in my life that the level of excitement and enthusiasm that I have is even more so now, because I mean, Barack was cool, but you know, he didn't go to an HBCU.
Listen,
I mean, I just feel like Kamala Harris first, and listen, have you seen that picture of Kamala Harris? I think it was taken during whatever, you know, Bougie Girl can correct me, whatever they call their Hell Week or whatever, because she said that in that picture, she said it was when she was online, and she said, see, the way she said it let me know that it was during like Hell Week or whatever. She said it was a very stressful moment. And that's why her line name, I think, was Triple C, calm, cool, and collected. But that picture of her with that short pixie cut does it for me.
She looks good. And she looked good. I never thought she was unattractive.
But I just never really,
Yeah.
I don't really be looking at her like that.
Yeah, I guess I never looked at her like that because, again, and she probably doesn't want to portray that because she is the vice president of the United States. And while she is a woman, certainly, she probably doesn't want to be, you know.
She doesn't want to be defined by that.
Yeah. And so I get all of that. But yes, Bougie, listen, the way he just said that, and I remember, yes, that was probably a very stressful time. And trust me, I know what the fuck that.
No, I know. This is the picture that I'm talking about.
Because the short pixie cut was really cute, though. It was cute on her.
Hold on. I'm adding it to the screen. This is the picture that I'm talking about. This picture, whenever I see it, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Not that she's not gorgeous now, but this picture.
Yeah, very, very cute.
If I had met this woman when I was 16, she might have turned me.
Listen,
you know, I grew up in PG County in the 80s, so you know, light skin, you know, listen, all of that. You know.
I mean, I have nothing to say because I was still dating women when I was in college. Now,
But you know, then the things that people have said about her. Well, she only recently became black. I was like, girl, you just don't understand what it means. It's so funny to me that, you know, white people don't seem to not all white people, obviously, but that's the people on the right don't understand that black people come in different shades.
Babe, listen, because today at the Black Degree Factory, when I happened to walk down to the good old Starbucks, I saw these two young ladies that play volleyball, and one of them had this long, flowing, very, very fine hair. And I had to do a double take because I was like, who is this?
What's this white girl doing on campus?
And then I looked at her face again, and I was like, there's a lot going on here. It looked like it was some like an Indian Arab situation. Listen, she's a beautiful woman, but it was a lot of goddamn hair. That's where I was just like, first of all, if you're playing volleyball, put that shit back in a ponytail because it's gonna get in your
She was go ask the Starbucks. Can she have a break to have a mocha frappuccino?
Again, but that's why as I'm walking out, I was like, listen, I was like, all right, whatever.
Right. So it's like, oh, well, she just recently turned, you know, black. I was like, no, she didn't. She, like a lot of mixed people,
oh my God,
this country forces you to choose.
Right. And I think it was Essence, I think, that did this whole spread about black people. And like, it was a beautiful spread. It was about the whole different combinations of black and all these other races. And all these different models and what they
whatever they are, they're still black.
It was amazing. And it showed all the shades of just different shades and hues of different types of black people. It was absolutely beautiful.
And
beautiful
then, so I don't, you know, she doesn't necessarily talk about this, but I imagine that growing up, She looked like a light-skinned black woman. That's the way that the world perceived her.
Yes.
The same way, I think Halle Berry and Mariah Carey have talked about this because they both have white mothers, how their mothers sat down and said, I'm white. I know that you love me, but the world is going to perceive you as black. So you might as well get into that right now.
Yep.
So, and then also to be like, oh, she slept her way to the, I'm like, first of all, that don't mean shit to me. Baby, use what God gave you to get what you need. Here's my thing. No one on that side can say anything because what qualifications did Jared Kushner have to be the envoy to Saudi Arabia? What qualifications other than being his daughter did Ivanka have to be a senior aide in the White House? I mean, because you just don't see that. I mean, you never saw Amy Carter or even the Bush twins. You never saw them taking a prominent role, even though they were old enough.
Asses was too busy getting arrested. That's what the problem was with the Bush twins. But okay, I'm sorry, I digress.
But my point is that you're going to say she slept her way to the top or she used her position. I'm like, that doesn't affect me that she slept her way to the top.
Watch it, Boozy. You ain't gotta put all my info. Oh, you making that for you? Okay, all right. Okay.
Right, Boozy girl. Who amongst us has not slept somewhere? So she, okay, so she slept her way to the top. She slept with Willie Brown to get the first position as San Francisco DA. Baby, that is an elected position. So even if Willie Brown helped her get on the ballot, the people of San Francisco still had to vote for her. Then the people of San Francisco had to vote for her to be the attorney general. Then they had to vote for her to be senator. Then they had to vote for her to be the vice president. So this whole she slept her way to get where she is doesn't hold any water or make any sense. Or they say, well, she's had sex with people. Listen, honey, I just need you to understand that she wasn't married. Her marriage to Doug is her only marriage. So it's not like she was married before. And she only got married 10 years ago and she's 59 years old. So that means up until she was 49, she was a single woman, a single, attractive, wealthy, and connected woman. Lots of people wanted to have sex with her, and she slept with whoever she wanted to have sex with, and that's none of my affair, and they got nothing to do with her qualifications for the job.
But I do want to know, because she was linked to Montel Williams at one point, I do want to know what that sex was like. I feel like it was going to be some old good old...
Montel Williams never did anything. I hear what you're saying. He never did anything. You want to find this funny, but I'd rather be interested in Montel Jordan than Montel Williams.
Okay, well, that's fine. But Montel Williams at that time, he was doing it for me.
Okay. I mean, he was a Marine.
But but then at the same time, I also say that there's two people from Def Comedy Jam, and it's so funny. So Bill Bellamy was doing it for me back in the Def Comedy Jam.
Bellamy, he had that S curl.
Ooh, baby. And you know what else? The guy from DC, Teddy Carpenter. Ooh, he was doing it for me. Oh my God. Is Teddy on here? Is Teddy watching? Hi, Teddy. Hey, I'm in DC. Come on by.
Yeah, and Master Max says she's not African American. I hate that term. I don't use it. I grew up being black, and I went to a black school, and I am black. I don't need, first of all, it was something that was championed by Jesse Jackson, which immediately puts me on my back foot because I don't like nothing Jesse Jackson says since that time he came to Ebenezer Baptist Church, and then basically spent the whole sermon that he preached talking about how he needed money for some other shit and had like 3 collection plates for his bullshit. Listen. No, Bougie, I do not remember when Montel came to Oxon Hill High School. Maybe I was.
You was playing hooky that day?
Probably. But anyway, yeah, so all the things that they have said against him. But let me tell you, if you you should follow Kamala HQ on Twitter. On Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. Because the moment the Orange Menace says something foolish, they be right on it.
Listen.
Like when he said, "Yeah, I'm not going to debate her," Kamala was like, "Say it to my face," which was like, "Baby, if that ain't PG County." Growing up, it was like, say whatever the fuck you want, but say it to my face.
But isn't her family? Wasn't she from Connecticut? I think it was.
No, she's not from PG County. I'm just saying, but you know.
Yeah. But no. It wasn't even PG County. I think that was just
a black thing.
That's a black thing. Because it was like, bitch, what? Say it to my face. Say it again. Say it again. But say it to my face. Say it to my mother. Wait a minute. So I got to share this. This is something that happened as well, and it was so cute. So Grace, there's it over in Velvet Hills where I live at. I happen to be able to look out my kitchen window and see the entrance to the other building. So these two little girls, probably maybe 9, 10-ish, right before puberty type of situation, but they still like tall, big girls. Well, it was two girls. The one girl who lived in the building was, I guess they were walking her home, and when they walked home, the girl who walked her home, I'm gonna call her Angela. She said the girl said to her, they got into an argument, and the girl said something like, "That's why you fat," and she was walking away. So she was walking away like, okay, whatever. But when I tell you, she stopped in mid-step, she turned around and she walked on back, and she was like, "Let me tell you something." She was like, "Your mother's fat, your sister's fat, your aunt is fat, you fat, and you can't tell me nothing about being fat because you fat too." Baby, I hollered. She was like, "You fat, your mother's fat." I hollered. Oh my God. Listen, because when we were kids, it was like, "You fat." Ooh, you shut down the party. And we was all like, "Well, bitch, what? That's it?" Okay, well, all right. I'll let y'all go with this. Right now, I couldn't think of nothing, but
right.
Whatever. But
I'm gonna put a pin in this because I'm gonna come back to it. Trust.
When I tell you that young lady handled it for every girl across the country, baby, listen, it was so cute. I got so tickled when she did it, but it was so cute. I just want to mention that. I'm sorry. I digress.
Well, all right. Let's time for some beautiful bean footage, I think.
Yes, indeedy.
Oh, I forgot. So there's a WhatsApp group I belong to called 321 Sluts. So it's for people who live in South Florida. Theoretically, it's for people who want to find out about hookups and going to slammers. But generally, it's about, parties and, orgies and stuff in South Florida. But the girls get so spicy in this group, and they stay reading one another, and it's giving I don't need a sugar daddy. If I wanted a sugar daddy, I could have a sugar daddy, but I'm not. And you could never have a sugar daddy because you are not that girl. So it's very that. And this one dude, so he was featured on a flyer for one of the parties. And the girl went on it, and the girl could have just shut the fuck up. She really could have, but she didn't. And then the girl was like, I am a model, and posted all of these. I am, went to a studio and got my friend to take a picture on the iPhone photo shoots. And listen, if he hadn't said anything, had just posted his pictures, he would have been a moderately attractive, gorgeous to some, not so much to others, older white guy with an average endowment. But because he was trying to let the girls have it, the way they ate his ass up in the comments in this group. And I'm just sitting here like, because all I want out of this group, I mean, I was hoping to go to Fort Lauderdale earlier than I had, but I'm only there to potentially meet some trade that I can hook up with outside of Slammers or other parties that's going on. I ain't into none of this. And the funniest thing is that somebody posted a party. Nothing gets the white gays together like being excluded from something.
I understand. I mean, but what isn't that like? I mean,
this flyer says, it says hot twinks and a selection of curated hot daddies. You know what curated means?
That's old. Thank you very much,
Miss Thing. There is no guest list tonight. That's what curated means, and the way that these middle-aged queens are pinched, that for the first time, instead of them deciding who gets to be the beautiful ones that comes to the party, the other people are doing that. And whoever's hosting the party is shady as fuck, because they say, oh, we have an open door policy. Everyone is invited. But apparently that girl is only saying those words and not actually responding to people's emails and the way that they are pinched. That out of all of the sex parties in South Florida that are advertised, not even just the ones that people have in their house, because there's like hundreds of flyers of stuff that's going on. There's like a whole bunch of shit that's happening in South Florida that we won't know about. So that's why I stay in the group, because, I'm always looking out for you. But
I appreciate you.
Yes. Right. But out of all of those parties, there's one party that they potentially can't go to. The way that these girls are like, Attica! I mean, baby, they are so pinched they're not on the invite list to this one party. So it's just hilarious to me. So I just stay. And Elimination is in the group too. So I just be texting them sometimes. I be like, what is wrong with y'all with your girlfriends in South Florida, honey? Because they are really going through it.
Elimination. I don't know if he's in tonight.
Yes, bitch.
He was here.
Yeah, you was here.
Like, you was
with
here.
Family. You couldn't even call a bitch and be like, listen, girl, I'm busy this weekend with family. So, because listen,
I get it. I get it. I absolutely get it.
Because I know you've been to Philadelphia and be like, listen, girl, I'm here for family. I do not have time to go out or whatever. But you at least let your supposed good girlfriends know that you were in town.
And the sad part is I usually let them know before I let my family know. That's the sad part. I'll be like,
exactly.
I'm in town. But
if
okay.
that girl was in town.
I see how we rolling.
Exactly. I understand how it go now. It's okay. It's not right.
But it's okay.
But it's okay. I'm going to make it anyway.
Anyway.
So pack your bags.
Pack
up and leave.
Up and leave.
Don't you dare come running back to me. Because Friday night when your boys went out to eat. Wait a minute. And they went out. But you came home around 3.
Yes, you did.
And 6 of y'all, you told me that 6 of y'all had dinner. But 4 of y'all were pretty cheap. because I found your credit card receipts. And I'm through.
Because it's not right. But it's
okay.
I'm going to make it anyway.
But no, I saw that picture on Facebook. I was like, oh, because that girl just showed up and didn't say nothing to nobody. I'm a text her because I was busy that week because I was just busy with stuff.
Listen, it just as soon as you said his name, that's what I remembered. I was like,
as did I. I was like, that right, that bitch.
Yeah, so I was like, I gotta hit him up and be like, oh, bitch, so you couldn't even let a motherfucker know you was in town. But okay, I get it. I get it. But I'm
gonna text him and be like, watch the BGKH show at around a minute and an hour and 53 seconds for a mention of your name.
Right,
sir. Anyway, thank you all for joining us. I've had a wonderful time. When I tell you that this day, I made light of the situation, but it was a very serious situation. For me to have to be like, we need to have a conversation and I need you to hear this. Your team does not trust you. And we know that we cannot depend on you. And so for me to have to say that, you know, it was a bad day, but this always makes everything better. So thank you for being my own personal therapy through all this shit. You know, I see this old hooker, you know, all the time. And y'all might be like, oh, y'all didn't see each other the whole month. No, girl, we saw each other. And we could have saw each other even more if we had like made the plans, but I think we were both, neither one of us was trying to stay away from one another. But I also know that, you know, even the best of friends need a break from one another. So I'm like, girl, we'll see each other in a month. So,
and listen, and I think that's the other thing too, that the people, I think what I always enjoy about it, we've talked about this before. What I always enjoy is that when we get together, everything that we do is so organic, and that's what makes it magical. So sometimes I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna hang around him, and we're gonna do all types of shit because that's what the fuck we do. But sometimes when we start thinking about the show, I'm like, we need to save it for the show. In my mind, I'm thinking like, we need to save it for the show. Because I'm always like, that's
because this same conversation could be happening without the fucking cameras.
Oh yeah, yeah. And we will have those conversations and others. But again, it's with most of your people that you are close with, your interaction with them, your dynamic with them is what makes it special. My conversations that I have with Trayvon, or when I'm around him and Josh, or my conversations with Spill It Boy or Dominion, like they're all different. But when we're together, that's what makes it fun. Right. That's what makes it good. And so that's for me, I always I don't pull back or reserve, but I know that the magic happens like when people watch it, because sometimes people just don't believe it's organic, but it really is. And
it really is, because I've had people be like, so y'all must spend an incredible amount of time scripting all of that shit out. I was like, if we had to script all this shit out, we would have stopped after episode 20 because there would have been
20.
No
20. You said 20? Girl. You know about
you would have been done after episode 3.
Like, girl, I'm done.
This was a great idea, but I can't.
Because the script would have blocks of freestyle. One sentence, freestyle. One sentence, freestyle. No.
So, yes. So, all right, lovelies, it has been fun, but we need to wrap this up before 2 hours because StreamYard has a new function where it creates 1 minute reels for us, but it won't do it if the video is more than 2 hours long. So
we're at 9 minutes and 59 seconds. We need to go. Love you all. Go,
all right, thank you all for coming out. Love you. God bless you and good night. All right, bye.
Bye.